And we're back on K-News Saturday morning on K-News 94.3 and 94.3 KNews.com. I'm Paul Cashin. And joining me this morning, Michael Birnberg, as he is a candidate for the mayor of the city of Palm Springs. And we discuss some of the things that would be on his agenda. Certainly, you list transparency on your website as one of the key goals of what would be a Birnberg administration. Do you feel that the current administration or current administrations or the past ones have not been as transparent as you'd like to see?
I don't know how non-transparent they have been, but I know that there have been issues where some of the decision-making that they have made should have been done publicly in their personal lives as well as in closed session. I think it would have been very obvious that were they making decisions that could be seen as having anything to do with conflict or that could be argued against, whether or not they truly believe that they were doing the right thing for the city, and I believe that they do think that they were doing the right thing for the city, whether it was to expedite what the progress that's already been happening. Maybe for personal reasons they don't want to see it slow down, but certainly for the city, we don't want to see it slow down. We want to see it, but we want to see it done right. Whether or not they needed to do that in closed session is irrelevant. They should have opened it up for public discussion.
One of the things you've listed on your agenda, and it's really, I think, pretty unique to yours of any of the candidates running, and I don't know if it's just a unique idea or if it's too far out there or if there's any basis to realism in it. You talk about creating a University of Palm Springs.
It is, I think everyone needs an ambitious goal.
Yeah.
And I think that I've seen Palm Springs when, half of downtown was empty, okay? And I do not want to see it like that again. And we are experiencing a wonderful boom, but things come and go. And what we need is a foundation, some kind of keystone that would really underpin the growth that's happening here. And I do believe that a University of Palm Springs would be that kind of foundation. It would be fresh ideas, fresh people, fresh creativity, money, investment. Corporations come in to invest, to do research and development. Intellect comes to invest. Families come to invest. And Palm Springs right now, in a marketing sense, for a university is very appealing. A lot of people want to be in Palm Springs. A lot of young people want to be in Palm Springs. And there is that room for growth in Palm Springs. And I think that as far as an ambitious goal that has a real purpose, it's a good one.
It's an ambitious goal, but my question, I guess, is it a realistic one? I mean, I'd love to see, they're talking about in Carson now building an NFL stadium to move the Chargers there and to move the Oakland Raiders there. Heck, I myself would love to see them build the stadium right here in Palm Springs so I wouldn't have to drive so far to see an NFL game. Mm-hmm. It's not a very realistic expectation that the NFL is going to place a stadium in this size market. Is it a realistic expectation that a university would look at this community as a good place to build?
Is it a realistic expectation? The expectation is that our community is worthy of a university, and I believe that it is. You start with a big idea, and you work toward that idea. And if you have to scale back, you do. But the principle of the idea is to found the type of organization, industry, the type of project that would really raise the bar for where Palm Springs might fluctuate to in its up and down history, economically and culturally, right? So this is a starting point. I think that it requires our community to get behind it. Our community is quite powerful. We have quite a powerful community here in Palm Springs. They're capable of doing a lot. And if the community gets behind a project, it's very likely the project will get done. Maybe not in 4 years, but in a reasonable amount of time to do a project of that scope.
I know you've done some training involving the Jewish Family Services of the Desert, a great organization that does a lot of work for the homeless and good for the community. You list homelessness as one of the main agenda items on your site. And obviously, Palm Springs has the highest population of homeless people in the desert. One of the great reasons for that is there is more services here in Palm Springs than any other community in the desert. What is the homeless problem as you see it, and how does one go about solving it, assuming it is a problem?
Going about solving it is vexing to every community in the United States, practically. There are many solutions that have been tried. Some have been successful. Maybe some of them would work here. Maybe some of them wouldn't. There are budgets that are being used for some things that may not be as important as that issue, where some money could be put more into this issue. You're right. We don't want to provide everything so that people want to come here and be homeless in Palm Springs. However, to look at the problem as a human one rather than a Palm Springs one, to emphasize the humanity that our community has toward one another, to invest in the safety and security of our residents and our visitors, to reduce the anxiety that our residents and visitors might feel here due to having to experience something which can be very confronting and very troubling. It is important to our economy. It's important that visitors come here and feel comfortable. It is important that residents feel comfortable and successful. And part of that, unfortunately, is we have to provide assistance to people who are not able to help themselves. And yes, that does take material investment. But I think that for the health and well-being of people who are contributing to the economy, it boosts what they are able to do, and it helps just the ethical, the moral, and the spiritual existence of our community.
One of your other agenda items is listed as cooperation, and really the subtitle under that is tribal relations. We recently saw President Obama get off of Air Force One here at the Palm Springs International Airport, and it's no mistake that Jeff Gruby, the chairman of the Cahuilla tribe out here in the desert, the Agua Caliente, was there to greet the president. Who has more an effect on governing the city of Palm Springs? Is it the Palm Springs government and thereby its people, or is it the tribe?
Well, we have to remember that the city of Palm Springs is governed by the city of Palm Springs. It's not governed by anyone else. The tribe is a sovereign nation, and what they choose to do on their land, they have every right legally, and in some people's estimate, ethically, morally, historically, what have you. We all live here in the same space together, boundary or no boundary. We are human beings living here together, and our fate is tied to one another, economically, culturally, what have you. It does not matter what our differences are. Our differences define us in a beautiful way. Our histories can define us in a beautiful way. We can appreciate one another's mistakes. We can appreciate one another's successes. What matters is what we can find common ground on, because that's where the tribe and the community and the city interact, and what we can cooperate on. What we can cooperate on is going to enrich us all. It's going to provide for us all. I think it takes a very liberal and humble and understanding perspective and person to be able to traverse the different perspectives, the different needs of the city and the tribe, and also to really be able to illuminate the commonality, to illuminate how they both should and can be working together.
As we get closer to November and, head in that direction for the general election, which will elect the next mayor of Palm Springs. You've seen your candidates that are running for the office right now that you're seeking, and we're talking with Michael Birnberg, who has announced his intention to run for mayor. Have you assessed the field and your competitors for the position?
Yeah, somewhat. Yes.
I mean, obviously, you've worked on the City of Palm Springs Sustainability Commission, so you've obviously been in and around Ginny Fote, one of the people who seeks, and obviously, of all the candidates, probably the most inside political candidate here in Palm Springs. I don't think there's any arguing that from the field.
I agree.
What are your thoughts?
I think the entire city council and the mayor have done very good things for the city. I think they've worked hard to do those things, and I think they've been successful. And I think we can all be proud in many ways of what they've done. And they're also all individuals, and they also have their all individual agendas and their individual needs and desires and ambitions. I know that Ginny Fote comes with some baggage from what people around me talk about, things that I was not aware of, what have you. If I was not in the race, I would probably be with who is running for mayor now. I would think that probably Ginny Fote's the most qualified person. And I think a lot of people would agree in many ways that she would be the most qualified person. What I've heard Ginny Fote say is that she's running for mayor so that she can kind of, finish what has already been started. And that makes me, why go through the expense and the effort and energy to become mayor if you can do that same job, fulfill that same ambition from a city council seat, which she already has. I don't know really why she wants to run for mayor if her ambition is, can be accomplished from where she stands right now.
It fascinates me because of the announced candidates thus far. I don't think it's a unfair assessment to think of you as maybe the more out of the box of the candidates. You're younger than the other candidates. I think the way you present yourself, is different than that, and the way you express yourself is different. And that here you sit saying that if it wasn't for yourself running in the race, you would probably gravitate towards Ginny Fote. While you may be the most out-of-box candidate, she's likely the most in-the-box candidate of everyone running.
Well, there's some value to a person who's in the box. They understand the system. They know the strings that are being pulled. You may not be able to penetrate their bubble, but you can rest assured that they do have an agenda and they will accomplish something. Whether it's, I've been a fan of politics since I was a child. I would stay up during election night like it was Christmas Eve. I watch the news. I'm very aware, and I think that I'm out of the box. But out of the three other candidates who are running, to choose between them, I would probably vote for Ginny.
Let me ask, are you in this for the experience of it as much as you are to win it, or are you solely in it to win this seat?
I do everything in my life for the value of the experience. The seat is powerful. The seat is really so amazing that we have this system in our country, in our world, in our community. The seat thrills me because of what I would be asked to do. But I will find that joy and I will find that passion in whatever I do, because that's really why I'm here.
The website is michaelbirnberg.com. It's Michael, BIRNBERG.com. Michael Birnberg, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.